energy from the crowd, couldn't you, today? It was a packed audience.
I didn't hear a word you said.
You could feel the energy from the crowd today. Exactly. It was a packed audience. How did you feel the energy from the crowd today?
I mean, the crowd was tremendous, and we know what we're going to get when the kids come. You know, regardless of what's going on the court, they're going to have a good time.
Army seemed to really get creative on offense. What did you see from them?
No, I mean, they just made shots. I mean, when you start off and they made like 11 out of 14 threes, you know, that's tough to overcome.
3 players in double digits again, scoring. What does that say about your offense?
Well, I mean, we're happy to have players score in double figures, but we have to do a better job of executing and getting easier shots. I do tip my hat to Army. You know, they made us work incredibly hard to get the shots that we did. And we're just going to have to continue to work on executing versus physicality.
Thanks, Coach. Abby Antonoli, the player of the game, 17 points from you. What did you see from Army today?
You know, they had great pressure. They were very physical, which you'd expect from the Army. So we needed to play through that a little better. I think we were looking a little bit for foul calls, but instead we need to look for N1s. But they shot the crap out of the ball. Their three, they were 11 for 14 in the first half. That's almost unheard of, and we needed to adjust in the second a little bit better. But I think we did a good job keying in on the threes, but then they got a little hot down low.
Did you feel like that they got really creative on offense in today's game? They gave you guys different looks than probably what you've seen before.
You know, I think historically we played them zone and had a lot of success, but that wasn't the case. The first half we came out in zone and they were hitting their sharpshooters for wide open threes, and that leads to that really high percentage on the three-point line. It wasn't anything crazy. It kind of just was open shots in the 2.
How much did you feel the energy from the crowd today? It was a packed house, over 1,300 kids. That must have been fun.
It's so fun. I mean, can't get much better than this. They're screaming for us, and it's packed. My favorite day of the year. I'm sad we couldn't come up with a win for them, but happy they all got to come today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Back to you guys.
All right, Gabby, thank you very much. I think she summed up the ball game pretty well. They did it outside in the first half. They did it inside. The inside-outside game worked very well as we take a look at some of the highlights.
Yeah, sometimes, Gary, you just tip your cap to your opponent, and Army was that kind of team today. Abby Antognoli said it best. This is kind of a harbinger of what was going to happen when Erickson knocks down the first 3 that hit the top of the backboard and still went in, and then the dribble drive and the kick. Erickson was absolutely on fire. She set the tone with 4 first-quarter threes. And then, of course, Trinity Hardy on the dribble drive. She finds Erickson again. Yes, that's the same number 21 over and over and over again. They have been they just moved the ball so well in that first half, Gary. They assisted on 12 of their 13 baskets. Abby Antognoli, our Coca-Cola player of the game for Lafayette, she kept her team in it as much as she could. Despite Army's offensive onslaught, Gary, this was a 6-point game when the game was still in the balance in the fourth quarter, largely due to Abby Antognoli, but I loved what the freshman Talia Zarinskas came in with. She brought her best game today. A lot of different contributors for the Leopards as well. In the second half, once again, Abby Antognoli doing a nice job kind of probing off the high ball screen, and that mid-range jump shot. Look at the crossover by the freshman Talia Zarinskas. Possibly her best game as a first-year player. And boy, you go under the screen on her, and she can shoot the basketball. This young lady has quite the future in front of her here at Lafayette. She's only a freshman. Again, Lafayette on the back cut. There's Kay Donahue taking it strong to the basket. All things considered, you know, Lafayette played a solid basketball game. They really didn't have long stretches, as Abby hits another one. They didn't have long stretches, long dry spells. But Army was just really moving so well. There you see Erickson driving the baseline, and the big kid Tilson moving without the basketball. Again, good ball movement. How about Haskins?
20 points. 20.
Yeah, out of nowhere. I mean, and there's the move without the ball. Again, when Erickson wasn't beating you with her shooting, she's beating you with a pass, and Haskins was absolutely Army's player of the game. She just did it all kinds of ways. She's an inside presence. She can shoot the 3. Army's going to be a force in this league. Erickson was quiet until needed most. When Lafayette was making the run, you saw her step out and hit a huge 3 right in the middle of that Lafayette run.
4 players in double figures for Army, led by Hostick with 20, as we mentioned, a career high for her. A double-double for Cameron Tade, as she had 13 points and 10 rebounds. As you look at what the team numbers, Lafayette with 3 in double figures, led by Abby Antognoli with 17, Kay Donahue 13, and Talia Zorinskis with a career high for her with 10 points. Lafayette gets ready to travel to Colgate on Saturday.
One more point about Army's offense, Gary. 24 assists. That's unheard of. I mean, can you imagine? That kind of underscores how well they move the basketball and what the defensive challenges were for Lafayette this afternoon.
No question. It's obviously always a good day with all the students here at Kirby. It's exciting. It's loud. The Leopards could not quite produce a win for them, but a good basketball game. We're glad you were able to get up early and join us for this one. That's it. Final score, Army 74, Lafayette 65. We'll see you on Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock when Colgate comes to town to take on the Lafayette men. For all of us on the Astound Television Network, I'm Gary Laubach, on with John Leone and Gabby DePaula. We'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody.